Hello, everyone. It's time for another ESC United Know It All. It's Saturday, January the 17th. It's fairly early in California, but in Europe it's already evening. So, with that said, good evening, Romeo. Jake, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Sadie? How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks for asking.
Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. The last few weeks have been fairly active, and this week in particular. Okay, I need to turn off the sound of the broadcast because I have now two sounds in my head. Give me 2 seconds. All right. All right, hang in there with me. Aha, I have two windows open. That's what happened. I turned off the wrong one. So now we can do it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a lot of Eurovision stuff. I'll read you the news, and then everyone here present will talk about and discuss and share their opinions. And we'd like to hear your opinions as well. You can go to our Twitter handle, ESC United. Use hashtag ESC United. You can go to our Facebook. We read it there. We read it everywhere. So, and share your thoughts. So let's start with Ireland. And some maybe old news, but we haven't talked about it yet. Last week we talked about the rumors, but after weeks of those rumors suspecting Nicky Byrne as the Irish representative, those rumors have been confirmed by Irish national broadcaster RTE. Now, the former Westlife member had large amounts of success as one-fifth or one-fourth later down the line as the boy band, which gained most of its success in their homeland, Ireland, and the United Kingdom, although they had some success in a number of European countries. And not only that, we don't only have a name, we have a song. It's called Sunlight. It has been released. It's one of the two songs out already. So, Sadie, I'm going to start with you, and you are an unapologetic Westlife fan. I think that's a fair statement to make. Share us your thoughts now that you know on Nicky Byrne representing, difficult word, representing Ireland. Not focusing on the song, just on the singer right now.
I
And
spoke
then
with
we'll
this. I spoke with
talk
this
about the song.
about. I spoke with this about this to my sister yesterday because we both in the family are Westlife fans, and we are both over the moon. I think my sister was more excited than me, but I'm just so excited.
Yeah. Last week when we talked about the rumors that he's your favorite, right? I like your
Yeah,
favorite Westlife.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think that's a yes. Uh, what about you, Jake? Your thoughts now on Nicky Byrne?
I was never a Westlife fan. They were never someone who I'd listen to. So I wasn't really interested. I wasn't as excited as Sadie when the rumours were out. But then it got confirmed, and I thought, okay, they've got a big name. They can get a big team behind it and see how it goes. So I was quite happy that they had a big name because then they could potentially get a big team. But apart from that, I don't really know much about him.
Yeah. As I, in the US, Westlife wasn't really like a thing. So I knew of them. I didn't know a lot about them. So when I heard about the news, I looked them up, and we talked about it last week that Nicky Byrne himself is not or was not known as the singer of the group. Like he was usually doing the backup vocals while some of the other guys were doing the lead vocals. He said in one of the interviews that it was actually more of a producer's choice rather than their own choice, and that his inability to sing or something like that. Sadie and of West's vocals by itself are solid enough.
Well, I'll say having. I know he was mainly the backup singer, but I have heard his voice. And going back to last week, I mentioned the cover version of Uptown Girl by Billy Joel, and Westlife done an excellent cover of that, and he was one of the main voices on that. And when I heard his voice on that, I was like, yeah. Just from that moment, I thought, yeah, he has to do Eurovision.
Is a a lot of attention to the contest. Especially those people who used to be fans, a lot of the old fans now they're like in their 20s and 30s, so it'll bring them back to the contest if they're not fans already. So that's always exciting. It's a great promotion tool just for the content. But we focus on the singer. Let's talk about the song. We finally have another song. We have Albania, and now we have Ireland. With Albania, I have a feeling we're going to have like a revamped version of that song, but I expect the Irish song to be like it's the final product. That's what we're going to see in Stockholm. So I have to start. Go ahead. What are your thoughts? Be honest, be brutal, be happy, whatever. What are your thoughts about this song, Sunlight?
Oh, you're talking to Jake, sorry.
No, you Sadie.
No, me and my sister both listened to it together yesterday, and we were like, yeah, this. I don't care what anybody else says. This is the better song out of the two that have already been released.
All right. So what about you, Jake?
I was pleasantly surprised. I quite like that fresh sort of boy band sounding songs. I explained last week that I loved Donny from the Lithuanian final, and I think it's that kind of style which I love, and I think it's fresh. I think it's modern, and I think it's going to do quite well in Eurovision. My worry is that if we've got Nikki for Ireland, if Donny goes for Lithuania, then we'll have Sergei from Russia. I think if a lot of countries kind of go for a similar thing, like because of Mons last year winning, I think a lot of countries are going to go for the male modern songs, stuff like that. I think if there are too many, I think this one could get kind of forgotten because it's Ireland and they don't have many neighbours.
That is true. They may have not a whole lot of neighbors except for the UK. I don't know if I mean, here's the thing. I don't hate the song at all. I think it's a solid radio song. That being said, I don't know if solid radio songs usually succeed at Eurovision because you need to somehow, some way stand out. And I don't know if this song is a standout song. It's pleasant on the radio if you listen to it. But I listened to the song twice now, and I still have problems remembering how it goes. I remember it has a pleasant chorus. That's it. But yeah, I don't remember anything. I don't even remember the melody, really. I just remember it was pleasant. So that worries me a little. Granted, I'm only one person. I don't know I haven't really looked into what people are thinking, like the first impression. Jake, have you paid attention to that?
Yeah, I was looking like on the forum, and it's kind of mixed. Some people love it. Some people it's like, oh, they could have done better. And if you look at the poll on the Irish thread, it's kind of mixed, and it's the majority of the votes are going for like the middle. So for like 4, 5, 6, people are saying that it's kind of like middle of the road. But overall, it's positive reaction.
Yeah, probably the best. I don't know if having middle votes is the best thing because I would think you either want, of course, have a lot of high votes or a lot of low votes because you never, or like, and just a few high votes. Like, there's these love to hate songs or just hate by many and love by few, but those songs at least get a portion of the votes because they have a few, support a song. Nobody's going to really call in for it because they may like it or they don't hate it, but if it's enough for somebody to pick up the phone and be like, yay, Ireland, that's a little bit worrisome. What do people think in terms of like Albania versus Ireland right now? Which one's better? What, not your opinion right now, but overall, consensus online. Have you seen anything?
Yeah, I think it's still pretty mixed with that as well, because they're all completely different. So you'll have people who like that fresh modern radio song, but then you'll also have the people who love that sort of Albanian ballady type song. So it's kind of mixed. I think it is pretty 50-50, to be honest.
50-50. Then let us do the swing vote. Let's start with, well, Sadie, I think I know you kind of answered that question already. You would vote between Albania, Ireland. Your vote will go for Ireland, right? Just to confirm?
Yeah, you didn't even need to ask.
I have to officially. All right, so I would personally vote for Albania. I personally prefer the Albanian song right now. It just seems a little bit more, I don't know if daring is the right word, but certainly a little bit more inspiring to me. So, Jake, you get to be the tiebreaker. Which one's better, in your opinion, Albania or Ireland?
I think at this point in time, Ireland. But I think with the revamp, Albania could be one of my favourites. But at this point in time, I think Albania is just a bit too messy for me, so I'm going to go with Nicky Byrne from Ireland.
Well, congratulations, Nikki. I've been overruled. So, we'll see how it goes, how he's going to stand in the polls. We have, by the way, a poll now, as Jake pointed out, on the forum. We also have our ranking game where you can start voting for your favorite songs and keep them. Yes, we only have two right now, so it seems a little bit like woo. But we still want to see who is in the lead and who's. We're going to reset the votes every week, and you can vote again fresh. And we'll see who's going to be our winner next week, and we're going to talk about that. All right, let's move on. Next up, we're going to talk about San Marino. San Marino has announced a few days ago they're represented for the 2016 Eurovision Song Contest, and they've opted for a Turkish-born singer, Serhat, who is a singer and TV personality in Turkey, and he has been selected to represent the small nation in Stockholm. Serhat has had some success in the music industry, which began in 1997. His latest single, Je m'adore, has a large success in a number of countries in their dance charts. And the song Serhat will perform in Stockholm is unknown at this point, but will be revealed in the coming weeks. So I'm going to start with you, Sadie. There have been some rumors out that there may be Turkey somehow represented at Eurovision, and it looks like this is what they were referring to, a Turkish singer for San Marino. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I was reading the chat you sent us, and I think they are going for the diaspora votes because obviously San Marino being such a little country, bless them, they do well, but not that well. I think they need to start reaching out for those diaspora votes in order to get a better placing in the final.
Yeah. So, Jake, do you think that's what it is? They did the diaspora decision here to get those votes in, or do you think it's more of a financial thing that they got the offer? Hey, this person wants to represent. He has the money and the backing. What do you think?
I think it's a bit of both, but mainly financially. Yes, they made because obviously he's Turkish and there's a lot of Turks in Europe and they'll be voting. And I think they kind of learned from Junior Eurovision. They sent a Russian girl and they got like 12 points from Ukraine, they got points from Russia, they got points from Armenia. The former USSR countries voted for the Russian girl. And I think that's basically the same as what's going to happen in Eurovision for San Marino. I think they're going to, because Turkey aren't in it now, all their votes, all the people who are going to be watching it are going to be voting for that Turkish guy, and because there are that many, I think they have a chance of making it through.
Make it through. Now, we don't know that much about Serhat. I checked. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to check out his song that I was just referring to, Je m'adore. I will put the link in the description underneath the video, so you can always look at it at a later point. But did either of you listen to the song?
Yeah, I've listened to the song and I've heard another one of his songs and stuff. And
yeah.
I think.
Do you think like something like that would work at Eurovision, or you think that would not? Because what it is basically, it's very dancey kind of music, but his voice is very like low, deep, not talky, but certainly not like, it's not vocal acrobatic work there. You know, it's more like I don't mean it in a very offensive way. It's just his style, of course. But do you think that would work at Eurovision?
No, I think it's going to be a nightmare. I don't think it's going to work. I think if it was a guy from San Marino representing San Marino, and with him and the style that I've heard, I don't know what the Eurovision song's going to be like, but from what I've heard of his previous stuff, it's not going to work for Eurovision. It won't get the votes from the juries or the general population.
Yeah. Did you listen to it, Sadie? Do you
have... Yeah, I was just totally agreeing with what Jake said. Obviously, we don't know what he's going to put into Eurovision, but if it's anything like previous, then I don't. I think it could be a disaster waiting to happen. If it's anything like he's done before.
Yeah, no, I do agree that the song that he recently released, it's not going to go down well with the juries. I'm fairly certain about that. I would be willing to put money down on that. I could see certain televoters kind of going for that. Whether or not it's going to be enough, I don't think so, because then it would have to win over the televote in order to kind of cancel out the juries a little bit. So I don't know if this is the right way to go, but they may know that they need to go with something different to win over the juries as well. So I'm not convinced this is exactly what they're going to send, so I'm still hopeful. Now, my last question on San Marino is, and I put that in my notes here, is San Marino the country for anybody? So what I mean by that, in the recent years, since, yes, we had Valentina Monetta, who was a true person from San Marino, what they call San Marinese? I don't know, what's it? San Marinarians. Sounds like some kind of sauce. Anyway, so they, Valentina was an original, but everybody else is basically imported, even the songwriters like Ralph Siegel, for Valentina. Then we had, now Serhat, and we have, I think, foreign songwriters, obviously, and then we have Italian people representing San Marino. You think this is becoming a country that is for people who don't get a chance elsewhere, and is that okay or good or bad thing? Sadie?
Well, I've always believed that, well, I know people may not agree with me, but I've always been one of these people to believe that the person has to have some heritage to the country they're representing. But I do think though that San Marino has become a country for anybody and everybody. Ask Jake that question; he'll know why.
Okay, Jake, ask you the question. Tell me.
Basically, if you've got a country with a population of 7, then you're going to have to import some people.
17. Okay. Get it right.
But they've got no one in the country. So if you work out like how many people can sing, and kind of interested in singing, and who've got the opportunity to sing, then you're not really left with many people. So I think they've got to kind of import. Plus, you've got the opportunity to get votes from other countries, and if somebody's financially going to support the participation, then they're going to do it.
Yeah, no, and I actually agree with you what you're saying. And one example I want to use is they're taking a break right now. I'm sure they'll be back at some point. But Monaco, back in the day, also a very, very small country, not that many people from Monaco. So back in the day, it became France too, right? So it's always some kind of French singer representing Monaco, so they were in the race twice. What I don't want San Marino to become every year at least is Italy too. So it's like, well, we're going to send an Italian singer here and then another there because it is basically surrounded by the country and they speak the language and all that good stuff. I'd rather have than they have more people from other places who get a shot at Eurovision or that kind of exposure. So yes, I agree with you. There are like no people in that country, and most, at least even if you have, I mean, it's like 20,000 people. Most of them are not singers. So it is a very difficult task to find someone suitable. And Valentina was somebody, but it's, and you have to send the same person like again 3 years in a row. It seems a little, you can't do that all the time. So I agree with you. So we wish San Marino the best of luck, and we'll see how that's going to go. I'm looking forward to the song. All right, let's move on to the next topic. What do we have? Yeah. So we're going to talk a little about Poland, and what happened was there was a recent signing of a controversial new media law in Poland. I didn't even know it happened until the Eurovision.tv reported on it, but which allowed the government in Poland to have more control over the state media. And it had led to speculation concerning Poland's participation in the forthcoming Eurovision Song Contest. And then Eurovision.tv looked into the matter and can confirm that Poland's participation in the contest is not in question this year. Just to give you a little bit more background, the recent signing of the controversial new media law in Poland, which allows the government to have more control over state media, has led to speculation concerning Poland's participation in the contest. And this was something that the EBU was reporting on not Eurovision TV but the EBU, and they were very vocal about that. They're saying this is not a good thing. This is not what it's about. And this whole thing happened without the I forgot the name of the organization, but the European, not your broadcasting union, but some kind of council that they have that would usually review those kind of legislation, which was pushed through just like last minute through the government, through the parliament or whatever it's called in Poland. So it was a big mess and it was a big concern. So this year's participation is confirmed. But I want to find out, I'm going to start with you, Jake. Considering Poland's attitude towards the contest in the recent past, they were sitting out several years and then came back. You think this will or could affect future participation? Maybe not 2016, but maybe going forward.
Potentially, because if it's government-run TV station, then they're not going to be wasting public funds on a participation. If they don't make it to the final for a year, 2 years, whatever, then the governments are going to say we're not wasting our money on this, so we're not allowing that. But there are other like government-run TV stations participating in Eurovision, so it's not like that's why I got really confused with the big issue. I'm not too sure. I don't know the in-depth details about it, but I was like, oh, well, it's not the first, so I don't see why everyone's making a big fuss about it.
I was a little not surprised because it caught me off guard because I didn't even know about the initial law that they pushed through, and I only found out about it when Eurovision TV posted on it about it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was an issue. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't as big of a deal as they make it out to be, or maybe it is, and we don't know all the details. We don't know. But Sadie, why do you think do you have any additional information on that? Do you know why they pushed it through so quickly with no proper advice from the European Commission Council of Europe? Here it is. That's what the word I was looking for. Do you have any additional information on that, why this happened, or what's going on?
Well, I think they want their government to have overall control of pretty much everything, state TV, state media, and everything. I studied media law at university, and it's a bit confusing. EBU take control of some media outlets in each country, and I think it's those media outlets the EBU would rather have in Eurovision. So I think anything that's government funded, I don't think they would want to entertain. I don't think they'd even want to entertain.
I see. So, as I said, it was a surprising news. I'm not sure if it was really a big concern to begin with the actual broadcaster. Right now, we're glad. So what I want to hear from you guys is, Poland hasn't been doing so well at Eurovision, but what has been your personal favorite Polish entry to date? Jake, I'll start with you.
One song that not many people will remember. It's from 2009. Lydia, I Don't Want to Leave.
Oh, that was a good song. I actually, you know what? I really, really liked that one as well, and I forgot about it. I didn't think the live performance was that great, and I think that's where it kind of was like, but I remember really liking the preview video, so I forgot about that one, so I may change my vote. But anyway, Sadie?
I should know, because I usually watch it with my Polish neighbours right next door to me. So I should really have a favourite, but again, as I've said numerous times, there's certain countries that I choose to follow, and Poland isn't one of them, sadly.
Yeah, but there's one, like, if I have to, you have to, like, come on. You have to pick one, at least the best of the worst. Try.
Can I get back to you on that?
All right. Well, I'll give you. Actually, I would have said just like a minute ago. It would have been 2003, kind of Grenzen. I was the female vocalist. The guy's voice, you know. I can really do that well with my cold right now. But that part I didn't like, and that's why I dropped. But I really liked the woman's voice. It was a really, really pretty voice with a very pretty melody. But no, Jake changed my mind. I forgot about 2009, so that's going to be my vote as well. So actually, Sadie, your vote doesn't matter because we already have a majority. Thanks for playing anyway, though.
I had one, but all right then.
Okay, no, go ahead. I still want to hear it, of course.
Last year's Polish entry, I had to. Yeah. I have it on my phone. I have it in my. I've got a playlist of different Eurovision songs, and I forgot hers is right at the top. I had to go through
Yeah.
my playlist and remember who it was. She's the only Polish person on my playlist.
Yeah, she's not. It wasn't my favorite song last year. I wasn't a crazy fan of it, but I would definitely give her Miss Congeniality because I love
Mm.
Monica. She was so sweet and so nice. I loved her. I loved meeting her and talking to her. So just for that alone, she gets my vote now too. Sorry, Jake. No, I'm kidding. We'll see who they're going to send this year. We don't know anything yet, but we'll find out. All right, let's move on. And now to a little bit of sad news, or a lot of sad news actually. You probably heard about it by now, but I hope I'm going to pronounce the name right. My French sucks. René Angelil, did I say that right? Anybody?
Not too sure.
All right. Well, that's his name. What's his name? He is the longtime husband and professional champion of Eurovision winner Celine Dion. He has died at age 73. The official statement was he passed away this morning, which was a few days ago, at his home in Las Vegas after a long and courageous battle against cancer. The family requests that their privacy be respected at the moment. He has been battling cancer for 18 years. They met in 1980 when Celine was 12 years old and started dating when she was about 18. Um, he was, I think, 23 years older than her, and was an important part of her career and guided her through the Eurovision Song Contest, which was her first step towards, and obviously, an impressive career, one of the biggest ones there is, I guess, in our lifetimes. And just in case you live under a rock, in 1988, Celine won the contest by 1 point with the song Ne partez pas sans moi. And she actually said that she believed that the fact that René believed in her and was pushing her so hard was one of the biggest reasons she won the contest. So he was her biggest inspiration for this, and ultimately what made her become this international phenomenon. So I know it's always very difficult to discuss somebody's, the loss of a human person and, share our thoughts, but I feel like it is important to acknowledge this individual who not only managed a Eurovision winner, but that particular person became the biggest star of our generation. And sadly, we just found out yesterday that on top of her father, her brother passed away as well of cancer at age 59. So it's a very difficult time that Celine is going through, and I'm sure everyone is very, very sad about this. Jake, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I can't imagine what she's going to be going through. A husband and then a brother within a couple of days. No one should have to go through that. She's an absolute inspiration to most people who sing, and you ask like any big singers and things, they'll always say like Celine Dion's had some form of influence, and they aspire to be like she is. So I think it's sad that she's having to go through this.
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right, because I've always been one of those people. I can say honestly, like, Celine's music itself wasn't really a thing for me per se. I was never like listening to music like crazy. But anybody, you would be a fool or just a big liar saying that she is not a good singer or any amazing at what she's doing, because she is one of a kind. Sadie, do you have anything to add?
Oh no, I was just agreeing what you and Jake said. Said having to go through a double tragedy over a space of about a week, it must be very, very difficult for her. And our thoughts are with her and her family at this time.
Yeah. Let's think of some more happier times for all of us, because when we think of Celine, even though I just said I may not be like a crazy fan about her music, there are plenty of songs that I love and admire. So I want to start with you, Jake. Do you have a favorite Celine Dion song?
I do.
What
That's
is
the
it?
way it is.
Because that's I'm trying to remember the song right now. Oh, yeah, I do remember it now. That's a good song, actually. Yeah, that's a good one. How about you, Sadie?
I think my answer is going to be the same as most people, but the My Heart Will Go On from Titanic, because that is one of my favourite films of all time, and that it obviously was the title song to the film, and that's probably why I love it so much.
It's interesting because when it came out, I couldn't stand it. I was like, oh, turn it off now. It's horrible. Now, like what, 18 years later, I'm like, that's actually a really good song. It took me 18 years to appreciate it, but and it is actually a really good song. I think my favorite would be, and I know it's a cover, but it's actually an improvement, I think, from the original, is The Power of Love. Because I'm
Mhm.
your lady. I can sing, my voice is so messed up. But that, I think, is my favorite Celine Dion song. So once again, she is amazing, and she's in our thoughts, and it's going to be very difficult. The next few weeks, month for her life is going to be completely different for her going forward, and hopefully everyone will respect her privacy in terms of, like the media and all of that stuff. So this is only for us to pay tribute to somebody who really was able to elevate a very talented person to the stardom that she deserved. All right, let's move on to something happier, and that is let's talk about the German national final. There's been a lot going on these past couple of months, and, just to give you a review, back in November, the German singer hands their voice anger and started petitions to have him removed. And the reason for that, just so you know, is it had to do with like previous political statements that he made, and they were interpreted as like anti-Semitic, right-wing, and homophobic. And a couple of days later, the broadcaster actually did announce that they would not send Xavier to stop listening to it, and then had to make this scramble and try to figure out what was on. And yeah, no, Germany in 2016 after all that's going on, or you think the whole Xavier disaster is just yesterday's news? It's not going to really don't even know about. Jake, are you there?
I missed the majority of that. It kept breaking up. You kept just stopping, so I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. I was like, why are you not talking to me? I'm offended. Now, I was just saying, the whole. Did you hear the whole thing about Save and I Do? I was telling about.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so do you think that's going to have any impact on Germany's odds at Eurovision, or like people being excited? Do you think hope for Germany's lost in 2016, or you think it doesn't matter because nobody watches like national news when it comes to the
I don't think
international?
I don't think it matters really, because you've only got like the die-hard fans who are going to know about things like that. Um, the majority of people are just going to be watching it on the night for the first time. So unless the commentators
Yeah.
bring it up or something like that, I don't think it'll matter.
Yeah. Now, Sadie, just to go back onto the Hulk Save and I Do thing and whether or not this was actually justified, his removal. Do you think politics matter when selecting a Eurovision entrant? For like their
Um,
personal politics and what they're saying.
as I've said to numerous people before, I think if people are going to be public about their personal views, we had all this with the Albanian entrant, and I think if you're going to be public about your thoughts and feelings, and if they offend anybody, then I think some boundaries have to be put in place. I think I was told by one of you guys who met around MP3. Apparently, I think he said a few bits and pieces that offended a few people. But I think if you're going to be public, you have to be prepared to face the backlash, which is obviously what's happened in this case.
Yeah, what I was who mentioned that our comments about Conchita Wurst as well, and not even Conchita, yeah, Conchita, but the gay community as a whole as well, and that kind of caused the backlash. But what you're saying makes sense. People always say, well, it's freedom of speech, and I completely obviously agree with freedom of speech all the way. But freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. Freedom of speech means, the police or the government cannot throw you in jail for having an opinion or saying something out loud. But any kind of private company or individual can have a reaction to what you're doing. And I think that if a group of people, and I'm talking about Germans in general, because it seems like, at least from what we're seeing, the majority of people were uncomfortable sending somebody who has, at least what they perceive, because I'm not even saying it's accurate because I don't have enough detail on that because I don't know him that well, but they perceive that him having these dramatic and drastic views could be damaging to Germany, like its reputation, at least, at the contest. He's not the person that should represent the country. I think that is their right to do so. I personally, when Xavier Naidoo was selected, I remember his music. I was not a fan of his music at all. I cannot stand it. But that's just my personal taste again. And I was like, oh, this music is going to suck. Oh, entry, and that was my concern. So I was not happy about that. It was only a few days later when I found out about the whole, what he said or what he put in his lyrics and how people interpreted it, that I personally thought, you know what, I don't like it, and I don't know if I would have gone to the length of having him disqualified just for that. I don't think it would upset me enough. I didn't shed a tear because I didn't like his music, so that didn't really affect me. But overall, I was not as upset about it. What about you, Jake? Do you think it was Germany's right, like, to be this upset and have him removed?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got somebody going onto an international stage representing a country, they're an ambassador for that country. So if you've got somebody who's saying certain things, like don't get me wrong, I mean, like, I don't agree with political correctness and all stuff like that. But if somebody's like going out there and intentionally offending a group of people, well, not just a group, groups of people, who are going to be participating in the contest, who are going to be watching the contest, I don't think it's right to have somebody with that sort of reputation going on an international stage, and I don't agree with that sort of person getting exposure in any aspect.
No, and you make absolutely, and you're right, absolutely. I guess, since I don't know all the details and I looked at it, I don't want to say for sure that he is exactly what people say he is. There were a lot of stars in Germany, celebrities, coming out supporting Xavier Naidoo, saying he is not anti-Semitic, he's not a racist, and he doesn't hate gay people, and it was a big thing there as well. But so I don't want to pick a side, not that I want to be neutral, but I want to be objective because I just don't have the really understand, like, if his lyrics are really hateful or if it's just more of a way to push a message to be, like, in your face, and he's being sarcastic, or he's using, like, the not parody, I'm looking for the right word right now, it's not coming to mind, but when you're trying to be actually extreme about something to make something like that, I don't know, but it is the broadcaster's right, and I don't fault them for making such a hasty decision to put him in place because he's such a big name. Like, oh, we have a big name. His music wouldn't have worked internationally anyways, I would have predicted, but we'll never know at this point. But let's go back to the German national final. I'm not sure. Do you think, considering it was like a last-minute scramble, that the song quality? Jake, have you listened to any of the songs yet?
I've not listened to the songs, no. I've seen the names, but I don't know any of them. And I think it's basically, if it was just a last minute thing, yeah, I don't know. I think it could work. I think instead of people writing songs for Eurovision, they often fail. So I think if somebody's just got songs there and they've picked from those songs, I think it could be a decent mix. Mm-hmm. So nobody's going to trying so hard to have a Eurovision song, because people's opinions on what Eurovision song is completely different. If you look at the BBC's version, that's completely different to the overall population. So I think the song quality could be good. I think it could be a decent mix. And if you look at Lena, she was a nobody who then went to Eurovision and smashed it. She won. So I think it could be a positive thing for Germany.
I like the twist that you put on there because I haven't really looked at it that way. Because it is true, these people just wrote songs in there probably and submitted them, and they're not created to be on at Eurovision. So, and I completely agree with you. Maybe that is a good thing because you want to have something authentic. Because I think authenticity is the most important thing. So I never thought of it. I listened to a couple of songs. I didn't remember which ones I listened to be honest, because I remember there were a few online, and I listened to them on my phone while I was going somewhere. And the first two songs I listened to were really, really good. One was a rock song that was like not rock opera, but it had like a little bit feel to that, and it was really, really good. And I'm like, ooh, I'm really excited. So the songs will be all of them will be released in the near future, and hopefully there are going to be some good ones in there. But we're excited that Germany actually has a national final. It'll be 100% televote, which is always interesting. They don't trust juries anymore these days, it seems. So let's talk about it. Jake, what has been your favorite song from Germany at Eurovision? I know that. You can give me two or three because they had so many of them.
I've actually got three that I really like. I'll start with the earliest, 75, Joy Fleming. You'll be able to correct my pronunciation.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite.
Eine kleine Brücke sein.
And eine kann eine Brücke sein, yes.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. That's one.
Yeah,
1975. What's number two?
Number two is from 2006, No No Never. I absolutely love that.
No, never.
Yeah, I love that.
That's lightning, yeah. They didn't do as well as people expected.
No, I think they ended about.
And who else? Number three?
14. And the third one is Roman Lob, Standing Still, 2012.
Still, yeah, that was actually a good one. Yeah, which like Sadie?
I have two from consecutive years, but Jake, I've got three. My earliest is 1982, Nicole. She was only 17 when she won the contest, and I'm actually going to see her over in Germany. So I'm really
I'm
looking forward.
jealous.
I loved it, and my other two songs are both by Lena, Taken by a Stranger and Satellite. I love them both.
You're a Lena fan. She is special. I actually agree with Jake, first of all. Joy Fleming, 1975. It flopped so bad at Eurovision that became such a classic in German. And it was ahead of its time, I think. 17 out of 19, it got like something like that. I got like 5 points, like really nothing. I think it was ahead of its time. That's my thing. But it was like the best song ever, and I think it's still today my favorite German song. There are so many songs. I'm biased though because I'm German, so I love one of Ralph Siegel's, not the first, but his really first memorable song, Genghis Khan, 1979, by Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
I love that song. It's just awesomeness, and but that was a good year, so there were a lot of good songs. So I'm not too mad it didn't win. But it was one of the best songs that Germany has, and one of the most memorable ones for sure. And then let's see, in the 80s, they had a few good. I mean, the 80s was the decade for Germany. But I'm going to pick also one of the newer ones, which is Lena Satellite. Yes, it won, but I think it won for a reason because I wasn't even necessarily a fan of the song initially, and then I saw it on stage in Oslo. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win. Oh my God, we're going to win. That was the weirdest thing when you're I mean, like, for you guys, I'm thinking, I mean, the UK won in 1997 was a long time ago, so you guys don't really remember a whole lot about it. But you can only imagine if you're a country that never does well, all of a sudden wins out of nowhere, and you're like, what just happened? And I remember actually, I was telling my folks, like, if Germany ever wins in my lifetime, I was that pessimistic. If I'm still alive when they win, I'm still gonna go. And sure enough, a few months later, Germany won. So that was a very song that's dear to my heart. So I'm going to pick that one as well. All right, that's all the topics I have. So I'm going to do the round table again. I'm going to start with you, Jake. Do you have anything you would like to add that I haven't discussed? Go.
Yes. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been introduced to the Belgian acts, who are going to be fighting out for the title of Belgian representative. The show begins in about 35 minutes. So the 5 songs will be performed tonight. The winner will be decided through televote and jury vote, and we will have our 3rd Eurovision 2016 entry confirmed.
Yay, that is exciting. And we will be live tweeting about this, of course, because that's what we do. And did you guys listen to the songs in Belgium? I have not.
Yeah,
Sadie,
yeah.
have you listened to the songs?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, she's like,
Yeah.
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 Question.
Yeah.
Who are you? Do you have a favorite? Just say.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I love
That's okay. We like opinions. We like different opinions. So say it.
Amaryllis. Oh, I think everybody who I've spoken to have absolutely hated her. But I'm really, my music taste is really weird, and I love her.
And what's her name again? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Amaryllis. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Amaretta? Oh,
No,
all right.
Amaryllis. I think it is.
Well, since I haven't listened to them yet, I will give my honest opinion after tonight's show and tell you if you're right or wrong, because my opinion is the right one. We all agree on that, right? And Jake, what about you? You have a favorite?
Yeah, Adil is my favourite.
I do?
Adil.
Oh, Ideal.
Yeah, I think he's. I think it's the best. I think the 2 favourites that everyone keeps going on about are Tom and Laura. I think out of those 2, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Tom. Because Laura just she looks like a child up on stage performing karaoke, to be honest. But Adil is my favourite, and I really don't think he'll win, but I hope he does.
All right. Well, I picked Tom just because I picked Tom. No, I don't know. We'll see who's going to win. I'll share my thoughts later on. I've just been so busy with real life, which sucks. I hate my real life. No, I don't. I just hate not being able to dedicate 24 hours towards Eurovision, I guess. Okay. Anything else? Sadie, do you have anything else that I should or you want to bring up?
No, actually, I don't. For the first time in ages, no, I don't.
For the first time, Sadie is speechless. Mark your calendar, everybody.
Well, there was one thing, but you
What
told me
happened
not
there?
to mention it. There was one thing, but you told me not to mention it, so I'm not going to.
Oh, but you cannot say don't mention it, and then now we have so sneaky of you. I said don't mention it because we're going to put an article together about it. But now that you said don't mention it, why don't you mention it?
A film that Ruslan is involved in called Winter of Fire: Ukraine's Fight for Freedom is up for an Oscar, and I know the film Academy season's coming up, and I was speaking to her, and she said get as much press out there about it as possible. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right. So, yes, you see that movie is nominated for an Oscar. We're going to put an article together, which Sadie is working on. So, but yeah, that's an exciting thing. So, congratulations, Ruslana. Fingers and toes and everything else, if you can cross, will be crossed. So, with that said, this is the end. Now, everyone wants to get their drinks ready for the Belgium show. So, we're going to sign off right now. And keep in mind that we're going to do these hangouts every Sunday at 19 Central European Time, 1900, which is 10 a.m. my time, but nobody cares about that. I have to get up early on a Sunday, which is really annoying, but that's my sacrifice. So, as said, go to Twitter, send us your tweets at ESUnited hashtag or the handle, and we'll make sure we're going to read up on that. We're on Facebook, we're on our forum, we're on our website, we're on Instagram, we're on everything, basically. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday. And until then, auf Wiedersehen.